Hey guys, so y'all know that, well, most of y'all know that I love to read. And so especially during quarantine, have been reading a ton. Um, but I thought, why not put together a short video? Summer's coming up, you're going to be traveling, you might want a book to take with you to read on the beach or on the front porch of your mountain lodge. So I thought, why not put together a short video of some of the books that I have read um, over the last few months. So if you're looking for something to read, maybe this will give you an idea. Um, I've got, I think, 9 books that I want to share with you. They're going to be really short reviews, like really, really short reviews. So if you see one that piqued your interest, obviously go to the site that you use to find books, your Goodreads, Amazon, whatever, to read the book reviews. But I'm going to share these with you in hopes that some of you might find a book that you want to read on the beach or in the mountains or on the airplane or whatever you may be doing this summer. So let's get started. The first 5 is a series, Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. Love these books. These books follow the story of peculiar children, and by peculiar, it means like they have special abilities, whether it's they can make fire with their fingers or see invisible monsters or stuff like that. So fantasy books, but I love them. What's really cool about this series is that these books are the first books written by Ransom Riggs, and so you can see his progression as a writer, and that's really cool. Like each book is better than the one before. By the time you get to book 4, so this one, A Map of Days, man, talk about a plot twist. I think I gasped out loud while I was reading, like really, really good. Cliffhangers, lots of cliffhangers. And book 5, The Conference of the Birds, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. The ending is cruel, and I'm just going to leave it there. The next book, Eleanor and Park. This is a sweet, sweet love story, high school love story. Easy read, fun read. It'd be something good if you're sitting on the beach just to read through. Super, super, super good book. The next one, Where the Crawdads Sing. I know some of you out there have already read it. If you have not read it, you absolutely have to read it. It's based on the coast of North Carolina. It follows Kaya, the quote-unquote marsh girl. It's the story of her life in the 1950s, 1960s. Amazing, amazing book. Top 3 for me. Good, 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 good book. Crow, this was a middle school Battle of the Books book this year. I read this book so that I could talk about it with some of my students and ended up really, really enjoying it. It follows 11-year-old Moses in Wilmington in the late 1800s. Moses is a black child, and it talks about, I guess I should say, politics come into play in this book, and it looks at it through the eyes of an 11-year-old child. And so, super, super good book, Crow by Barbara Wright. Tracy Peterson. She is one of my most favorite authors. Love, love, love her books. She is a fantastic writer. I've read almost all of her books, actually, and would recommend any of them to read. This series that I started is the Sapphire Bride series, based in Montana in the late 1800s. It follows these 2 families. It's the same series, but it follows different families. So book 1 here, Treasure Concealed, talks about one family, and then book 2 is another family. I start book 3 tonight, so we'll see how that one goes. I'm sure it's just as good. But Tracy Peterson writes historical fiction, and also romance. And so when you read Tracy Peterson, it's like reading romance, clean romance, uh, history, drama, and the Bible, like all rolled into one, kind of. So good. I love Tracy Peterson, so I'd highly recommend any of her books, but these two are the most recent that I've read, and they are very good. I liked book 2, A Beauty Refined, just a tad bit more than A Treasure Concealed, but both are still really good. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. If you've ever heard of HeLa cells, this is the story of where HeLa cells come from. HeLa being short for Henrietta Lacks. This book took me a little bit longer to read because I wanted to read it for understanding, not just for pleasure. And so it's more science-based. So it took me a little bit longer to read it because I wanted to be able to comprehend it and really soak it in. It is a nonfiction book, so very, very good if you're kind of into that. I know I'm kind of a geek, so I like stuff like that, but this is a really, really good book that follows or tells the life of HeLa cells, where those come from, and how Henrietta didn't get the credit for that until just recently. So very, very good book. This book came recommended by a friend at school, Lorraine Snelling, An Untamed Land. This follows a family from Norway into the Dakota Territory in the Red River Valley, 1800s. I really think I was born in the wrong era, like should have been born in the late 1800s. I love reading about and learning about that time in the Midwest. But anyways, that's just a little side note. But really, really enjoyed this book. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but ended up really liking it. And I think there's 4 or 5 books in this series maybe, and I do plan on reading more of Lorraine Snelling's books, particularly out of this series. So this is another book I would recommend. The last book I'm going to share with you, oh my goodness, y'all, like, I love Yangshi Chu. Her very first book is The Ghost Bride. I read that a few years ago. Like, that is my number 1 favorite book of all time. Love, love, love The Ghost Bride. This is book number 2, The Night Tiger. It's my second favorite behind The Ghost Bride. I love these books. The Night Tiger is set in Malaysia in the 1930s. It follows a lot of, I don't really know how to say it. Like, I guess the easiest way to say it is like Asian myths or beliefs. I'm not really sure. I don't know enough about that culture to fully say, but these books are so good. So The Ghost Bride and The Night Tiger. Ghost Bride I read a couple years ago, but I just finished The Night Tiger after having it a hold on it in my Libby app for months. I want to say 6 months, but I don't even remember if I had the Libby app for 6 months. But anyways, love, love, love Yangshi Chu. I highly recommend either book. This is only her second book, so I'm looking forward to more that she writes. But anyways, these are all the books that I wanted to share with you. These are the ones that stood out to me the most that I've read recently, that I thought that maybe others would like as well. So there you have it. I hope you found a couple that might interest you for your travel summer readings.